It's a good win for me because, if I'm totally honest with you, my eyes are completely gone. The last 6 months they've deteriorated quite bad. I can't, where there was just long ones that are blurry, now everything's blurry.
The Crucible Theatre in Sheffield has been home to some of the most iconic moments in snooker history. It's where legends are made, rivalries are born, and players rise to the occasion. But not everyone gets to keep their seat at the table. Some of the biggest names in the sport have either bowed out of the World Championship or are clinging to their last chance. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. The 10 snooker legends we may never see at the Crucible again. Let's start with Fergal O'Brien, who retired from professional snooker after the 2023 to 2024 season, bringing down the curtain on an impressive 33-year career. The Irishman has been a steady presence on the snooker tour since 1991, and after years of thrilling matches, he's decided to call it a career at the age of 52. It's not that he's lost his love for the game, but he realized that sometimes even the best players know when it's time to pass on the cue and shift focus. Now, don't think for a second that Fergal's just packing up and disappearing. He's switching gears into coaching and commentary, where he'll continue sharing his vast knowledge with the next generation of snooker stars. While he spent just a few years ranked in the top 16, his dedication to the game and his consistent presence at the big events made him a fan favorite. So, now that we've officially seen the last of Fergal at the Crucible, it's safe to say we'll miss his calm composure, his precision, and that Irish flair he brought to every frame. Next up is Dominic the Spaceman Dale, who recently announced his retirement from professional snooker after a 10-5 loss to Daniel Wells in the penultimate qualifying round at Sheffield's English Institute of Sport. After years of impressive performances and colourful commentary, Dale decided it was time to hang up his cue. It's a bittersweet farewell for the Welshman, who has been a staple in the snooker world for decades. Although he's stepping away from professional competition, Dale's not completely saying goodbye to the game. He'll still be active as a commentator, bringing his unique perspective and personality to snooker coverage. But the real clincher is his return to the Crucible next month for the World Seniors Snooker Championship. And this might be the last time we see him at the Crucible as a player. Next is Joe Perry, who has also joined the list of legends. The 50-year-old former Welsh Open champion announced that this World Championship will be his last as a professional. After over 3 decades on the tour, since turning pro in 1992, Perry has decided it's time to step back from the grind. His decision didn't come out of nowhere. He's been thinking about it for the last 12 to 18 months. Midway through this season, he quietly accepted that it was time to move on. But before he goes, he's giving it one final push in Sheffield. He recently beat Dylan Emery 10-6 in the second qualifying round, and while he'll need to win 2 more matches to make it to the Crucible, he's dreaming of one last appearance on snooker's biggest stage. Though he's stepping away from the professional ranks, Joe won't be leaving snooker entirely. He plans to stay involved through the World Seniors Tour, where we'll still get glimpses of his smooth cueing. Next on our list is Mark King, and we're unsure if we'll ever see him at the Crucible again. Once known for his gritty style and emotional victories, King is currently serving a 5-year suspension for match fixing, set to end in November 2028. By then, he'll be 56 years old, an age where most players have already packed up their cues and headed for the commentary box or the golf course. King's story took a tough turn when he opened up about his lifelong battle with gambling addiction, which started when he was just 10 years old. It's a heartbreaking admission, especially knowing that those struggles may have cost him the final years of his career. While there's been no official retirement announcement, the odds of a comeback at 56 after such a long hiatus are slim. Next up is Marco Fu, the calm and calculated maestro from Hong Kong who could turn any frame into a masterclass. Known for his elegant cueing and ice-cold focus, Marco reached world number 5 at his peak and made 3 ranking finals in one season. But his career hit a rough patch in 2017 when he underwent laser eye surgery to address retinal degeneration and floaters in his dominant left eye. What followed was a long recovery period where he had to step away from tournaments entirely. He later returned to the sport, hoping to pick up where he left off. But snooker isn't a forgiving game. During a match against Alfie Davies, Marco was forced to step back again due to double vision. And since then, he's only made rare appearances on the professional circuit. While he hasn't officially retired, it's hard to ignore the signs. Snooker is all about precision, and without perfect eyesight, even the smoothest stroke starts to falter. If Marco does quietly bow out, the game will lose a rare talent who deserved a far longer spotlight. And now we'll talk about Ali Carter, known as the Captain, and honestly, the nickname fits. This man has navigated more storms than most players could imagine and still manages to walk into the Crucible like it's just another day at sea. In 2013, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer and underwent surgery. Just as he returned, a second blow hit, a 10-pence-sized tumor on his lung, followed by intense chemotherapy, and on top of all this, he was also battling Crohn's disease, a chronic illness that doesn't exactly make life easy for a professional athlete. Despite everything, Carter clawed his way back. He chalked up wins, reached finals, and reminded the snooker world what grit really looks like. He believes these health issues may have been caused or worsened by stress, something he calls a silent killer. And even now, long after the treatments, he admits the stress never really left him. While he's still active and giving younger players a run for their money, the truth is that snooker's increasing intensity casts a shadow over how long we'll keep seeing him on this stage. He may not be done yet, but if the captain ever decides to dock the ship for good, he'll do it having already won battles far tougher than any frame at the Crucible. Following that, we have John Higgins, part of the iconic class of '92, who has spent more than 3 decades proving he belongs at the top. With 31 ranking titles under his belt, he's only trailing behind snooker titans Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry. His resume screams greatness, but lately it's been the off-table battles taking a toll. Ahead of this year's Crucible, Higgins stayed back in Scotland due to a serious family emergency. His father-in-law suffered a heart attack. He skipped media day, and when he did return, emotions took over. On live BBC coverage, he broke down in tears, revealing how much his mind was still with his loved ones. While he's assured fans he's not retiring yet, there's a sense of uncertainty in the air. He's not done, but it's clear things aren't business as usual.
That was the most emotional thing I've ever been today.
Really?
I left my apartment, I was in tears.
Really? Why today? Why? What was different?
Just, obviously, a father-in-law wasn't great, and then you're just thinking about, I was having dinner with my boy last night, and I'm thinking, God, I can remember I was sitting here with my dad 25 years ago. Just things go through your mind now, so... So I was drained today, but then I just knew I had a couple of hours sleep. Then I came out tonight and I felt a lot better, and I played better.
The end may not be official, but it's definitely on the horizon. After Higgins, we turn to Stephen Maguire, another Scottish powerhouse who came crashing into the scene back in 2004 when he bagged the UK Championship and started collecting top 16 finishes like loyalty points. For a while, it felt like he would be part of the snooker elite forever. But recently, Maguire's form has been more cold than hot. He missed the Crucible qualification last year for the first time in 2 decades. His ranking's been slipping, and with that, his motivation too. Maguire's been upfront about it too. If he can't rediscover his form, he's ready to walk away. So, while he hasn't officially retired, it's starting to feel like we might not see him at the Crucible anytime soon, or maybe never again, especially if this season doesn't go as hoped. Mark Williams is still in the game, but has started hinting at winding things down. After celebrating his 50th birthday, the 3-time world champion has struggled with worsening vision problems. He recently admitted that his eyesight had completely gone, and after months of trouble seeing properly, he plans to undergo surgery this summer to correct the issue. Much like Marco Fu, Williams has found himself dealing with a condition that directly impacts his snooker game. Williams last won the World Championship in 2018.
So 15 years after he won the title for a second time, Mark Williams completes a remarkable hat-trick of World Championship.
And although he hasn't mentioned retirement plans directly, it seems that his future in the sport may depend on the success of his upcoming surgery. Recovering from such a procedure will take time, and we're unlikely to see him in the Crucible anytime soon, at least until he regains full vision. With 23 ranking titles under his belt, including 3 World Championship wins, the Welshman has built an incredible career. But the uncertainty surrounding his vision leaves his future on the table in question. Last but not least, we have O'Sullivan, who's been toying with the idea of retirement for years. O'Sullivan, despite his legendary status, has openly discussed his struggles with mental health, including anxiety and depression.
From 2008, 2009 to 2011, where they were pretty bad moments. And I just think probably the lowest I felt was...
which have significantly affected his career in recent times. He's sought professional help and undergone sessions to keep his mind in check, but this year, we've seen him step back from tournaments more than ever. It's hard not to say it, but the way Ronnie's been absent from the scene, it feels like retirement could be just around the corner. O'Sullivan did say he could play on for another 5 or 6 years if he keeps performing well, but it's O'Sullivan we're talking about, who's known to flip the table at the last minute. Given the increasing gap between tournaments and his quiet withdrawal from the scene, there's a high chance that we might not see him at the Crucible anytime soon. And that's a wrap for today's video. Which of these snooker legends do you think we'll see at the Crucible again? Or are their days over? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And for more snooker content, click on the screen below.